The story of the princess's necklace began on an ordinary afternoon in the palace when King Pro confronted his daughter, Princess Florimond, about a matter he had repeated many times before, telling her again and again that she must marry, insisting that the kingdom needed alliances and that her duty as a princess required her to choose a suitor, though she responded with the same quiet stubbornness she always had, claiming she did not wish to marry and that it felt to her like he was speaking to a wall, which, in her mind, he practically was, because she had no intention of letting anyone into her life in a way that would expose her secrets. Her father reminded her sternly that it was not her choice, and though the princess tried to maintain her calm, her lady-in-waiting attempted to comfort her by suggesting that princes were handsome and that alliances would strengthen the kingdom, though Princess Florimond only grew more irritated, dismissing her attendance and insisting that marrying meant someone would learn more about her than anyone ever should, which was reason enough to refuse entirely. After the princess left, Lady Yolanda immediately sought out Clarice, another palace servant, excitedly whispering that the princess was to marry, though Clarice expressed surprise at the news and concern because she believed the princess kept a secret she would not share with anyone. Yolanda admitted she had no idea what the secret might be, but she urged Clarice to keep a close eye on the princess, reminding her that it was her duty to keep the princess safe, even from dangers the princess might cause herself. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the corridors, the princess disappeared into her usual rounds, wandering the castle halls while the servants whispered behind her back, and Clarice tried to keep up with her, wondering why the princess slipped away so frequently. As rumors spread about her upcoming marriage, a courtier told the princess that the man she was destined to marry was not just a prince, but a king, someone who would take the throne early in their union, which was supposed to be wonderful news, though the princess hardly cared, telling her she wished the courtier would keep her opinions to herself, and muttering that she had no idea why she bothered speaking to anyone about such matters. At dinner that night, King Pro approached the princess warmly and invited her to take a walk through the garden of vines and fruits, hoping such a serene setting might open her heart even a little. But the princess barely listened, distracted by whispers she thought she heard, and the faint movement of a mysterious figure she could not quite identify. She was convinced someone had been watching her, but when she asked nearby guards if they had seen the man who disappeared around the corner, they insisted they had not, leaving the princess irritable and more determined than ever to protect herself. When King Pro asked if the suitor, a visiting king, would be joining them later for their garden walk, the princess lied smoothly, claiming he had been offended by her perfume and removed himself as a suitor, which she insisted was good riddance, as she had no intention of moving to Spain or eating codfish or enduring a family who disapproved of blondes, nor, she added, did she care for someone who smelled strongly of elderberries. Yolanda later asked Clarice how the suitor visits were going, and Clarice admitted they were going terribly because every time a suitor arrived, he disappeared shortly afterward. The princess was, without explanation, fending them off in a way that made no sense, and Clarice noted that the princess had recently acquired a beautiful new golden chain, a necklace Clarice herself had not purchased, which worried her because she knew every item the princess owned, and she had no idea where the necklace had come from. Yolanda demanded to know where Princess Florimond had obtained the necklace and how she was finding new beads to add to it, whispering that perhaps the princess had a secret suitor or that maybe something stranger was happening, especially since the princess sneaked out every night. Soon afterward, rumors spread further, this time reaching Prince Floristan's butler, Jervise, who nervously informed the prince that every suitor of Princess Florimond vanished shortly after meeting her, though the prince brushed it off as nonsense and accused Jervise of listening too much to gossiping housemaids. Later, another servant approached Prince Floristan in the hallway, apologizing and asking if he had seen the prince. But when the prince asked what she meant, she warned him there was something sneaky going on with the princess, and that her suitors always disappeared. Before she could say more, she rushed away, leaving Floristan suspicious but determined to uncover the truth. That evening, Jervise and the prince agreed to follow the princess if she left her room, though Jervise warned it was dangerous and that they could both vanish as well, but the prince insisted it was necessary. They hid behind pillars and watched as the princess slipped through a side door near midnight, clutching her golden necklace. They followed her through the gardens and down into a hidden stairway carved into the earth, and when they reached a secret chamber beneath the palace, the princess suddenly caught Jervise spying on her furious. She used the power of her necklace to trap him, revealing for the first time that the beads were not decorations, but transformed suitors, each one captured and strung onto the golden chain. She told Jervise he would remain a bead forever unless she cut the string and removed him, which she declared she would never do. The prince, still disguised and terrified, pretended to be a suitor from a distant land to avoid being transformed himself, and the princess agreed to meet with him, impressed by his confidence, though suspicious of his intentions. She bragged about the strength and beauty of her gold chain necklace, claiming it was the strongest and most beautiful in existence. The prince responded by claiming he had an even more beautiful necklace of his own, though he hesitated to show it, provoking her curiosity until she demanded to see it immediately. He agreed, but conditioned that he wished to hold her necklace at the same time. She allowed it, handing him the magical chain, but once he held it, he confronted her, asking why she had trapped all her suitors. She denied knowing what he meant until he insisted she confess. Finally, she admitted that she had been abandoned when she was young by a handsome stable hand who said she was not his type and ran off with another, leaving her heartbroken. She swore she would never again be vulnerable. She sought out a witch who promised her eternal youth, beauty, and magical power, which included the ability to trap others and drain their youthfulness through enchanted beads. She claimed she regretted nothing because her beauty and power had protected her from heartbreak. Enraged, the prince declared her reign of cruelty over, and using a counterspell he and Jervise had prepared, he trapped the princess inside a bead just as she had done to all her suitors. He returned the necklace to King Pro and explained in detail how the princess had met the witch under the full moon years before, how she drained the youth of her suitors, and how she feared marriage because someone might discover her dark secrets.